gunshots in the distance. A trip of mythical ventures. I'm 17 for the third time today. Happy birthday. 17 again. What would you do if you were 17 again? I once had a dream when I was in Saudi Arabia before going into Iraq. I had a dream that I was in my room in my parents' house, and in the dream I was 14 years old, and the dream came true with my mother pounding on the door. Maybe this was a chance to change things. Maybe this was like waking up into another reality. But in the dream, my mother was pounding on my door like she would in the morning. Not pounding, knocking. And you wake up, time to go to school. And And I'm not a morning person to begin with. But when I woke up in that dream with her waking me up to go to school, I realized that everything I'd done in my life since I was 14, that place I was in the military, I had all those memories still. I had the memories of high school, I had the memories of everything, and not knowing where I was going to go. You know, at the end of high school, because I wasn't going to college. Certainly I didn't have the money for that. But I joined the Army to get money for college. I'm one of those guys. And I remember in that dream my mother waking me up and saying time to go to school, and I woke up and I said, the memory of my life, where I was in actuality, I said, that was all a dream? I thought I'd just dreamed my memories of life since 14. And it was so depressing to me. I said, in that dream I said, I have to go through all that again. You know what that says? That says that I only saw one way to where I was going. There was only one way out for Gaylord. And it was out of the door of an airplane. I was 17, jumping out of airplanes. This is my third time I've been 17. And for some reason on this birthday, I'm thinking of 2016, October, when I took 3 weeks of vacation off from the place that I was working. I was gone like 22, 23 solid days out of the month of October to go to the wedding, and then to keep going to San Jose to get my things. And there were all kinds of weird things going on. I was driving without any kind of internet capacity. I had a phone, flip phone. I had a flip phone, and it would not get any signal. The Sprint was not covered out there. Maybe a certain amount of percentage of the people are on Sprint in those states, but that's a very small amount, and I had no coverage. So the atlas that I bought before I left, they had the picture of a tree that Melissa and I and Phil, we drove through. We did. Up where there are Bigfoot statues. It was on the cover. I said, that's the atlas I need. Because I didn't have my atlases. They were all with my stuff out in California. All the trips I've made, all the highlighted and, you know, routes that I took and everything. But so I bought an atlas, and if not for that atlas, I would not have been able to get where I was going, because I had no internet, no signal, all the way across the damn plains. But because of that atlas, having to read it, you see things that are along the way that you would never find with that. It's so much better to be able to look at information than to have information telling you where to go. You miss out a lot. There were a lot of weird things that happened on that trip, and I was almost back. I was coming down the freeway through Iowa, and my nephew is at college at Iowa State, and I was trying to get a hold of him. I was going to stop and see him. Uncle Judas is in town. Everything's more exciting when Judas is in town. Shit happens. I don't know why. People react to me. I react to people. Things are always pretty exciting, it seems. But didn't get a hold of him in time, and I said, well, I'm getting a beer. I was just like off the highway. You could go to Iowa University. I think they're the Jayhawks. I don't know. So there was a university town off the freeway. I'd been looking for a place to get a beer for a long time. I kept driving, and there are all these damn Iowa exits that have nothing by them. And no bars, no nothing. And so I took to Iowa University. I figured they must have a bar. And I went way off the road, and la 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 la. I was going down these roads and following road signs and everything else, and finally came upon it, and I'm driving through this town, and it's telling me where I need to be and all that. And I'm going by bistros. I don't want a beer in a bistro. Bunch of college fraternity kids, you know, people that think they're special because they can afford more than other people, because their parents are sending them more money than the other people get from their parents and all that stuff. You know, I wanted a bar, wanted someplace where I could just sit with people. At the very last minute up there, it was the Hilltop Tavern. I see it off the side. I wasn't even going to stop at a bistro. I needed a beer. I went out of my way to get one. I wanted a beer. I went out of my way to get one. But I wasn't going to stop because I didn't need it. It wasn't that important. But then there's the Hilltop right there, and I went up there, and I go into this bar, you know, and there are people there, and there are a couple guys sitting at the end where the light shines through the window by them, and there are a couple of guys, they're obviously old friends, and they're sitting there talking, and they're having a good conversation, and I get my beer, and I'm sitting there, and there's another guy in between us, a couple chairs distant, you know, and that guy's over there, that guy between us and those two guys and me, you know, they're talking and they're having a good, and that guy's like, and he says, I am so glad to meet you. And I had felt like shaking these guys' hands too, but for some reason I was like, I'm just sitting there. I was interjecting, saying things. We were all having a really good time and a good conversation. It was just people meeting strangers and knowing that the folks in the next town, we don't have to kill them because they're not going to kill us. It was a good place. And that guy in the middle of us, he reached, I gotta meet you. He was drunk already. I was like, and right there in early afternoon, I just had 10 more hours to drive. And he reaches out and he shook the first guy's hand, and the second guy reached up his hand, and he was a fucking lobster boy. He had that hand out. It was like Edward Penis hands, these two fucking things. He was a lobster boy. I was like, holy shit, lobster boy. And the guy's like, and he took his friend. He took his hand. I'm sure that guy there that just became his friend just gets a lot of joy out of shaking somebody's hand with that lobster boy claw. And I was like, wow. I just keep seeing the weirdest shit. I just kept seeing it everywhere. And when I got back, I heard that the angry shipping lady had said that if Judas doesn't come back, I'm gonna hunt him down. And first time I heard that, I said, if she'd have hunted me down, I would have killed her on sight. Same way that one guy that I mistakenly became friends with. You know, you become friends with somebody, you think maybe you have something to offer them, and you get a little bit in return. It's a growth of humans. It's a growth of individuality. It's growth of sociality. It's a growth of people to become friends with people unless they've got nothing to give back. And this guy, when I was leaving, he said, I'm going to call you. And I said, you do not call me. I'm walking away from this place for at least 3 weeks, you know. You do not call me. So I have to. He says, you know, I got to be sure you're okay. And I said, no. I said, I walk out of here, I forget it. I said, do not. And I did. I walked away, and it was just a free thought. It was freedom for like 3 weeks, you know, not having to think about anything. And I also decided to look up my name at that time, and it came up with an obituary, my given name. While I was out there, I put my degree together at San Jose State. It was all finished. So I saw my obituary, and it was about a guy with my name right about a couple days before. I think it might have been November 24th or something, right at my birthday time when I was about 14. A man with my name escaped a mental hospital in that region, and they found him at his original place of residence, and the cops, and they came in, and he like broke one of the cops' arms with a kitchen chair and was coming at the other one and with a knife, and the guy said, pop, 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 pop. He gut shot him and killed him. And I thought, wow, what a great obituary. And I saw where it was, and I said, I could get a job working in that mental hospital now. All these years later, there'll be one old doctor going, Helverquist, Judas, J.R.H., Helverquist, freaking out because they're this man they killed so long ago is back and working for him. Same damn name. Mythical and mystical, man. And some trips you take, well, they show you the road you're on.